opening.
Right. Well, order, committee in attendance. I guess you can just note that, Charlie.
Yep.
We actually have a full committee today. That's great.
Hello?
Yeah,
You're in first?
yeah, right.
27 worked out.
Welcome back, Judy.
Yes.
Okay, all right, has everybody had a chance? I brought copies of the agenda if anybody needs it.
And I owe you all the minutes. I realized earlier this morning, I'm like, I never sent them before the last, because I like to send it out right before, so everyone gets it, reads it right before the meeting. And I was like, I never did it because we canceled. And I was like, there's no point in sending them out this morning, so I will get them to you right after today.
So we don't have to, there's no minutes to approve. Everybody's good on the agenda?
Yep.
Okay. All right, no announcements, no public discussion, public comment. So move right to 6. The citizens request. Nancy Martin is here to speak about her tree at 41 Westchester Street. Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
okay, thank you for letting me come and visit. When I first had contact with the tree committee, I met Rob. I don't know his last name, but
Geiger. Yeah,
years and years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
And when you said just now that was my tree, I walked and he was cutting the tree and I said, what are you doing with my tree? He said, it's not your tree. And he meant it.
Yeah,
So,
oh, I know.
yeah, right.
Yep.
It's probably over 30 years later now, and trees have a way of growing.
Mhm.
And I know that you know that you received my request a few years ago.
Mhm. Yeah,
And,
we've actually discussed it at tree meeting, so.
oh, right.
So,
I'm here now because Dale spoke with me after that, your decision.
mhm.
And he said, why don't I put this plastic tarp type cover down? And he did. And so it's really exacerbated. The roots have now gone everywhere in my lawn and all over the place, and the tree just keeps growing.
Yeah, I was the one that put the thing down.
So have you seen it lately?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost impossible to stop sucker growth that we call it. It's
I
like,
know, but it's anyway.
Well, hey, that's,
The pictures, yeah. Here. They don't really show, if I took pictures this afternoon before I came, but I think it's grown up like crazy.
no,
all we can really do is.
I'm familiar with that, so I know.
I was gonna
Like
say,
we just remove.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
but I'm the one that's been taking care of it for,
right, Well,
36 years.
I planted that tree.
Okay,
And that was a tree that was one of 800 trees that we planted, that Walter Beinecke funded to plant back in the early 80s. And it's a silver linden. Melva Chesron lived in your house at that time.
Yep.
And then the Stells lived there, Dumont Stells lived there for a while. And then I
she
think
was
you
there
owned
for
it
2 years.
2 years or 2 or 3 years.
She flipped it, I bought it.
Right, right,
Sorry,
right.
I've been there, I bought it in
Right.
February of '88.
Yeah. So essentially, I gave Roger the list of all the trees. This is how it became a town tree. I gave him the list and he took over the list and started working on the trees on that list as he could. And he certainly had way back when, and he was around when Melvin owned the house.
Right.
She was well aware that he's he gave him permission, I assume, to work in the trees. And so he's taken over and consequently, we got that bylaw passed by the town where the tree really becomes a town tree after it's been maintained over a period of time. So it's essentially a town tree.
Right,
Yeah, so I mean, there's no issue about that.
I have no
Yeah,
issue
yeah,
about
okay.
that, that's why I'm
Okay. Just so
sitting
you
talking
know.
to you and,
You put the marker on it.
Yeah, but
Tree marker.
anyway, I mean, it's a healthy tree and our feel is we don't wanna cut down healthy trees. You know, I mean, it's not, it's just, it's been there since approximately 1980 and that's. it's
so
pretty
let me
long
ask,
time.
let me ask you something. Am I the one that's supposed to take care of that tree, since it's growing all over my property, but I'm not the one who planted it and
You know, I mean,
I can't.
probably, I mean,
But I
we're
can't, I
maintaining,
can't plant
I mean, the
anything.
town is maintaining the tree. But what happens with the root system is that we have, you know, that's a tree. I mean, it's an inconvenience of what a tree does. I mean, a tree can suck. It can do a lot of things. I mean, it can get into your sewer system. So, I mean, those are the things you have to deal with if you own a tree. I mean, I could tell you, I don't know how many elms we have in town that are probably in everybody's sewer system, you know, I mean, it's not something that's just your problem, it's an overall problem in town. I mean, I think if we started cutting down, allowing, I think, we have no trees at all. I mean, with the issues that trees produce, trees are well worth the effort, I think, that you have to put into. I mean, everybody, I think, has to do whatever they can do to help maintain them. And it's a well-established tree. It's got a presence on that corner, which is, I mean, that's when Melva requested the tree, everybody, you know, we had an ad in the paper. She was one of the the respondents, and you know, when I saw the location, I said, "Oh, this is fantastic location right there in the corner." So, anyway, that's the history, and I think the committee. I mean, we've discussed this before, and I think you're certainly. We're not really having. This is an informal hearing. You have to, what you have to do is, if you really want to follow through with this, you've got to go through the hearing process. And it has to be advertised in the paper for a couple of weeks. The sign gets put on the tree, you know, and then we have a hearing. And if there's any, what's the word I'm looking for? People, objections, if there's any objections, then it's automatically just forwarded to the selectmen for their finding. So,
Well, I told Dale from the beginning of conversing about the
Mhm.
tree issue that I don't live here to be in fights with people.
right,
I'm just not,
sure,
I'm not that person.
yeah.
And I don't know what to say. The tree needs to be trimmed. It's a dangerous corner. People come through that stop sign, they
Sure.
don't even see the stop
Yeah,
sign.
yeah,
The kids are standing out there waiting for the wave bus. It ain't pretty,
sure,
especially at this time of year.
sure.
So there's more than just my
Mhm.
sucker roots.
Yeah.
Hanging out on my lawn.
Sure,
There are a lot of other reasons. Now, I know that Roger was there years ago and he was trimming those branches so that you could see the stop sign. Does anybody come and do anything?
well,
As a matter of fact, we were there probably a couple years ago. When we cut all the lower ones, so you could see the stop sign,
Yeah, you can't,
as best we could, you know, cause.
I know, but
But,
and
I mean, we could do a full pruning.
Maybe schedule that for the
Complete
fall.
full pruning, yeah.
Sure.
When nobody's there, you know, and there's plenty of parking, it'd be a lot easier.
That doesn't happen, there's not plenty of parking.
Well, I know that's the
I'll put
problem.
out
Well, when
cones
there
for you.
is. Winter time.
But as far as I mean, as far as the suckers go, I mean, you're normally mowing the lawn anyway, I mean, as they come up, just keep them cut back, I mean, they're
No,
gonna.
but you can't plant anything around that tree. You know, I
It's-
mean,
I'm sure it's a solid root mass,
well, the solid root masses, but they're all sucker
yeah,
roots that
Yeah.
have come up and they
Yeah.
just continue, it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's pretty unsightly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know,
It's common with lindens, the shallow. roots
I
and
know,
stuff.
but you know,
Yeah.
they have a couple of them parked at, the bank at the corner of Amelia Drive.
Yeah.
And they surrounded those with some, bricks that keep all of that very contained. Because that's a tree that just goes wild.
Mm.
And I'm wondering, is there anything we could do that way, you know?
I don't, I'd be worried about girdling the tree, right next to the tree, I mean, it's. I mean, it's. Anybody else have any comments on this? I mean, it's,
I mean, do you want us to remove the black stuff there, the filter fabric,
Remove what?
the filter fabric? for you? I mean, it's up to you, we can,
I don't think it's not doing any good.
yeah,
Is it
Well,
doing any
that's
good?
what Dale said this is much worse than it was before, you see.
It probably made matters worse,
yeah.
And now I have snakes.
yeah, that's, well, I would get rid, I would get rid of it, you know.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Cause you can't mow it, you can't mow underneath, you know, you can't do anything underneath with that turf there, I mean, it's kind of
I
unsightly.
know that.
Yeah. And you would probably have, yeah, sure, they love it right there, nice and dark and warm.
Rats and everybody
Yeah,
else.
right.
in the neighborhood.
Get that on the schedule, take out of there maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
no
swing by and
problem.
pull that
It won't
fabric
take
and then.
long at all. Just gonna pull those tiny stakes.
Is that all right by you, Nancy? That's fine?
Well, that would be great. I didn't want it to begin with.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Scotty can
It looks
Cut back-
awful. You know.
cut back some stuff while he's there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Dale's in Mississippi, so he won't know anything about it.
You won't care,
He'll want it.
as long as it's not
He's
an
the one,
elm.
he called me.
Yeah.
After he looked at it.
Yeah.
But he was much more adamant. He just said, Nancy, I really think this has to go. But differences of opinion,
Right, well,
and the
it's,
committee's here and he's not.
right, it's. If it was falling down, you know, there, we don't need to go through that, you know, I mean, if it was dead and a danger to the public like that, you know, it's gonna. Then we. All this isn't necessary, but it's a healthy tree. And there's a process.
Yeah, it does soften the streetscape there. I think it'd be less pretty without the tree.
Yeah, it really is a perfect, it's a perfect spot for a street tree. Yeah.
Have a great day. Thanks for what you do.
It's not a perfect tree though.
No tree's perfect.
I know, but
You
this
know,
one's pretty, this is,
I know,
you're gonna live with it every
trees
day.
have problems, but it's not a health problem, it's probably too healthy, you know,
right. Okay, well, I'm not, I'm not,
we'll do what we can.
I'm not
to
gonna
make it
go
right.
into any kind of public hearing.
Yep.
I would prefer not to fight with you. I just
Sure.
don't wanna live that
Well, we
way.
don't have a fight either.
Okay, that's good. At least we got that clear.
Is there drip irrigation around the tree? I'm just
I doubt
wondering.
it. There's no irrigation there, is there?
There is a, I do have a sprinkler system. Yes, I don't think I have it pointed at that tree.
Okay, yeah, sometimes the guys run some drip around the tree, which would make things grow faster and encourage root growth, but. If you don't have all of that, then
But I do have an irrigation system.
I think it's getting what it needs and.
Yeah, I mean,
Trust me,
That-
it's plenty green.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure, that we had a little dry spell
And
before
it's-
this rain.
Silver linden is a great tree for, too.
I don't know, I haven't experienced the benefits of it.
They're here and there, you don't see a lot of them, but they're great tree.
Okay, there, all right.
All right,
All right, but you're gonna come and help me get rid of them,
I can do it myself, it'll take 2 seconds.
and then can you take all the other vermin away?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's snakes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll smash them with a hammer.
Bring your mongoose,
Yeah,
That's it.
Is that what will eat the snake?
when they go
That's
after
true.
cobras in India,
that's the tradition, that's the.
they're native adversaries, natural
Do we
adversaries.
have any local ones?
I don't believe
Oh,
so,
shoot.
half the world away.
We have plenty of cobras here, but they're not,
Yeah.
Very different kind,
they're a different kind.
yes. Okay,
All right,
Mary, I'm gonna sneak by you. Good to meet you all.
nice
Nice
to meet you too.
Thank you for coming in.
Scotty's on it.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
tomorrow. Absolutely.
I'll make sure he is.
See you.
I'll tell my boss to do
Progress.
it.
Okay, moving on. Old business, okay, so. We gotta discuss. I got a, an estimate from, Surfing Hydrangea Nursery for, 5 to 6 inch. Princeton elm. And they're about 3,500 a piece. So I think we gotta probably write a letter to Jim Weeman. And that's, we gotta do is figure out what, I figure if the trees are 3,500 each, that's $7,000. So probably another, I think we talked about this, maybe another $7,000 to plant. What do you think about that, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, I used to bid it 3 times the tree cost to get it here and in the ground.
Well, I was talking to Dale today about, and he says the DPW has no means to handle a tree that size.
That would be a big tree.
It'd be a big tree. I mean, what I'm thinking is, I don't want, I mean, we could do it, but I don't want to get into that because it's really I think we,
Circles hydrangea planted, did they give us a
No.
quote for install?
yeah, maybe, that's good, that's actually great idea.
That way it's easy, it's just one bill.
Yep,
Yeah.
he could arrange to have that happen, and it would be under my supervision. Dale in my supervision, but I think. If the total cost of the trees were given to Surfing Hydrangea Nursery, they could arrange, yeah, that's a great solution. They could arrange to get a plan. And so
All right, we'll reach out to Craig,
reach out to Craig.
get a final price, and we'll
Yeah,
get a
he
letter
could
drafted
arrange-
to
he
Jim.
could- he could definitely arrange that.
Okay,
And then we'll send a letter to Jim with the cost of the 2 trees that he's offered to plant. He didn't specify what the trees were. He wanted to leave it up to me, which I don't want to get involved with. So I think that might be the
and
solution.
we'll just say to be planted, because we talked last time about waiting until the end of construction
Right,
to plant, so when they.
so it'd be a fall planting. I'd say you'd probably get this all done by, I'm sure he'll be done with construction by then.
Yeah, I think we just leave it, instead of stamping it fall of this year, just to be planted at the end of construction, because, you know,
Right.
once we need to get the
Okay.
driveway in and make sure they're all, you know, would hate to have them relocate a tree, because they have to do something, so
Yeah,
at the
okay,
end
so-
of construction, we'll,
So we'll send Jim a letter stating that 14,000, I think we can just quote him what. The basic tree costs 3,500, so there's 7,000 for the trees. And there's another seven, we'll just say another 7,000 for the.
I can reach out to Craig, or I can.
Yeah. I think the
And
actual-
whatever, if it's not enough, then the DPW can. Can help out with whatever's, whatever, I don't think you really need to get into that,
Mhm.
but. And it just gets deposited in the tree account, in the DPW tree account for the job,
Sounds good.
and we move on. You have Jim's address?
Yeah, I've got his email and everything.
Okay, good, all right, so send me the.
Yeah, I'll send you a draft first.
Send me a draft, if anybody else wants to see, why don't you just
Yep,
circulate it to
sure.
the committee? And okay. Now, did we get anywhere with the West Creek?
Would we, well, Charlie's got some more information.
Yeah, sort of, we had put in a brief request to try to get it on a select board agenda, which kind of got pushed back from town admins suggesting we should reach out to the Rhinamos. But I think we wanted to just discuss it again and just say we're not. It's not it should be a quick decision, I believe, for select board, we're exactly. But I think we need to figure out the verbiage of what we're actually asking.
Right,
Well, there was something with, Libby said they were gonna send the Ramos a letter, did?
Well, she was saying if we're
Oh.
pursuing, if. I think she maybe misunderstood what we were asking. Because they haven't made the payment yet, I think she thought we were coming back to have select board request the payment, and so she said we should.
yeah.
Email the
We should have a
Rhinemos saying,
very clear-
Hey, you haven't paid yet, but what we're actually asking is, we're asking the select board. Because this project has not proceeded.
Yeah.
Because they have not made the mitigation payment, that we were asking for the select board to officially reverse their decision.
Okay,
That it was on, that they're, or just at least state. It may be as simple as them just writing a letter saying that. It's conditional
Contingent.
upon the plans that were presented
Yeah.
at that time by the particular owner, and that it does not, transfer with the sale of the lot.
Also a reminder, I watched the meeting again. You had said at the meeting, you can't cut down an elm between, I think, like April first, and to put that in the letter as a reminder, so it doesn't disappear overnight.
and that's There was a lot of untruths stated. Anyway. Okay, so we write.
I'll draft that letter as well.
Okay, and
That
then,
will,
okay, fine.
we'll circulate, and then
Circulate that. And then
it may just
we'll
be
get that.
a simple request that the select board could just send a letter.
Yeah.
Back,
Okay,
And Charlie, I can work on that.
yeah, I appreciate it.
so let's get that.
But that was something, but we'll come back to this in new business, but. What I realized from this whole thing was we don't have a clear procedure. For when the select board overrides the decision of the tree advisory committee.
Did we know?
And we should have very clear, this is what's required, this is how it proceeds. This is who's responsible for what. It should be laid out in a form that you just fill in the boxes and say, okay, this is the decision. That's every time I go to one of the hearings, it's a discussion, but it's not formalized.
Yeah.
In terms of, okay, you're required to do this and this and this and this. I wanna get a form. or
There's no
something.
action item, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's discussion without.
Yeah.
So we need to create a standard operating procedure
Right.
basically
Yeah.
for tree committee hearings, probably for ourselves here, and then. An additional selection of items to just check when it goes to select board, so it's the same every time.
Yeah, but the key thing is to have something that's enforceable and have the person be
Mhm.
accountable for what they're committed to do. Because we don't really have that.
Cause up until recently, we haven't really had an issue, it's what is usually found in our favor. And this is a new thing,
Okay,
which I don't, well. That would help, so.
Yeah.
Draft away. And we'll talk about it next time we meet.
And I can go through some of my notes that I sent Charlie,
Yeah.
but that would be your business.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to the town. So we've been pretty much nixed with the
I'm sorry, wow,
yeah, yeah,
not even a bone thrown. I
No.
mean,
yeah, I know, it was
It was
this.
pretty shy.
Now, what I don't understand is the Somerville thing kind of,
Well, so that's what I was trying to, the access to the town council procedure is rather lengthy, so I need to refill out another request that. Basically, you got the email from Brian, reviewed it when I said to you, and I
Right.
really responded back, like, can I continue a dialogue? So I was gonna ask, like, how did this end up here? If this is a standing, if this started standing in another town. How do we change our stuff? So I'm gonna resubmit and cycle back those requests.
Yeah.
If we want to pursue it.
chances of that happening are probably slim to none. But I just don't understand how, if Somerville has a very detailed. Whole procedure on what the mitigation costs are, and we don't have, we have. Unless somebody volunteers, like Jim Weeman volunteered to pay for the 2 trees. We've got doesn't seem like and that doesn't, to me, that doesn't. Smack the right thing, it's.
I felt like, it was both, here are the reasons this is wrong, but also we don't wanna deal with this in any way.
Right.
That was my interpretation.
Well, it also seemed like any
It's
of
like
the,
we're slamming the door.
any of the mitigation fees would actually require us to take. The offending party to court,
Right, which is
Yeah.
and
not.
the court would, it's not like the select board's not gonna grant. And I think, one of these said, that he. Seemed like them awarding $25,000 per caliper inch would be very unlikely, which I think we all agree, but it's more of a. This is what it could be.
It's a
and
deterrent.
it's a deterrent.
It's absolutely a deterrent.
It
Absolutely.
makes you look,
It's
I
an
mean,
assessment of the value of those elms.
exactly.
Right.
Right, so I mean, we can continue, just maybe draft up another list of questions. About these, so if you have any questions, send them to me, we'll try
And I
to
mean,
put them together and maybe
cite the,
try to resubmit again.
Cite the the Somerville,
So
I
Did
mean,
did you
it's-
talk to somebody in Somerville or just get these off the?
No, it was just off this, I'd emailed, but never got any response back from both the DPW director and the town arborist. But some people just don't look at their emails.
Yeah, maybe they've come up against these objections that we're getting,
Yep.
and they don't know how to, work around that, perhaps.
We're getting objections from the town administration, so I mean, it's see what we can do.
But the other thing is, and this is something I learned about HPC 35 years ago. If you go in with multiple things and one that you're prepared to lose on, you're more likely to win on some of the others. So I'm thinking if we put a bundle of
Mhm.
asks together, and if we can't get the bylaw, then maybe we can get some of the other stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, it seemed like it would be very difficult to up the penalty from $300 to $500. That seemed like it was gonna require more than just going to town meeting. But I think that the mitigation penalties is more of what we're really after than, yeah.
You got any comments?
Well, I just think we need to garner some more support within town administration for this organization, and I feel like we don't have quite the support that we should. Now, I know that the building department is up to their ears in work, and so is the HDC and, you know, all the other permitting bodies, but we really don't have, we just don't have them, they don't have our backs, it seems like, and anytime things get prickly or costly or involved, I mean, I don't know who they is, but it just seems like we get brushed aside, besides not really having any teeth with our, you know, fine structure. As it stands now, what's it, $300 is the maximum fine in Massachusetts, something like that, Charlie?
That's what's in the Nantucket bylaw is $300. That would be per tree, not per occurrence. So if one person cut down 3 trees, you
Right.
apply it to each individual tree that was cut.
Yeah. But, you
So,
know,
I am
I
talking
mean,
to the
most
planning
people of any,
department. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
are
off.
you okay, Mary? Thanks. Yeah, no, it's great. And I have too. And I think they are overburdened with what they already have. And this just adds another layer of management on. And I really do think that very simply, and we've talked about this, is having a, you know, check the box on the, you know, application. Is there a town tree on your property? And so just sort of try to head it off before it even becomes an issue. That seems simple, but I mean, simple, you know, any town I think runs like molasses as far as changing the way things are done, standard forms, et cetera, that are just in the queue already. But I think very simply, you know, try to get in front.
Did we lose that?
Looks like we did.
Oh.
We lost you, Ben.
Coming
Oh,
back.
There we go. Oh, well. Okay,
Anyway, sorry, I have
Well,
bad service where I am, but I hope you understood kind of what I was saying.
okay, so we'll see what we can do. Keep working in town council, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, GIS,
Town council,
what's that, Ben?
I was saying work on town council, but I think we need to work with the planning department just to get ahead of some of the stuff, at least, and just some permitting documents.
Yeah, I am working with the planning department, behind the scenes, yeah,
Okay, thanks.
to get some support at least. I don't
Very
know if we can make anything happen, but I'm asking for support.
But every time that comes,
Gotcha. Okay, thanks, Mary.
they wanna know, they want a town, they want a tree map, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the key.
They do.
The tree map is the key to having any kind of reference, they need reference, so. We just gotta keep. Emily Molden has been appointed to the board, you know that, did you know that, Judy?
No.
Yeah,
That's.
and she, her term starts
Next month.
Monday, right?
Yeah.
July 1st.
July.
Yeah, so. So that's great, I think the land council's always wanted to get involved in this, and we'll have Emily to help out with that.
Started the town tree tours as well.
Well,
Right.
that was what I was gonna say. I mean, it's good that she'll be here. I think we also we need a PR agent. You know, somebody to promote that, because to many people, the trees are really beautiful and an asset. But, you know, as Ben was saying, I mean, people are overwhelmed in administration in the town. More people who advocate for the trees, and the more they'll listen,
Sure.
I think. So, yes, yeah, the tree tours and, yeah. And didn't they do an inventory a while ago? Maybe a limited one, because I was.
They got started,
DPW did.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I got somebody else, it doesn't matter, I did sort of a partial one, like a
yeah, there
a
was,
while ago.
what is that, what's that called,
It
the
was
university?
Will.
It was Will, but he worked,
Yeah,
there was some,
he had a-
there was some interns or
Yes,
whatever.
exactly,
from-
exactly,
From
exactly.
Clark University,
No,
was it,
it's,
or Worcester Polytech?
yeah.
But it was a while ago. I mean,
Right.
anyway, but I was looking up all
Yeah,
that, because I was
it
trying,
before COVID.
yeah, well, I was just trying to see what kind of public promotion was being done. That's all.
Well,
Yeah,
Dale
that's gonna
out
fall
there
back
for Arbor Day and
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
out seedlings, and that's always helpful. and
That's great, yeah.
Such a big personality.
No, Will has got housing on the island now, right?
Yeah.
So he's here full time, so that's great. So we got,
Yeah, and once they get the Concom regulations put to bed, he'll
Yeah.
have more time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think also the thought is to take, we've got that grant that Vince came to us to talk about, and so I think. Instead
I
of,
forgot. about
instead of kind of doubling up on the effort, I think the plan was to take the information that we already have the raw data for. And then through that grant hire and have a company come in and do a full, arboriculture. Mapping of everything,
That.
I think was what,
Actually, that's probably the only way we're actually gonna ever get this done.
I think we need
with the grant.
mapping and identification so
Yeah.
that, and I, people can, as I say, not only for the town, but
Well,
for
you
the
see,
public,
you've
to-
seen
to
what,
be-
you were on Zoom, but you've
Yeah.
seen what Charlie's
Yes.
done. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's, I mean, it's great. I mean, we need all that. Yes,
sure.
the more you can hook people in.
Okay, stump grinding and tree planting update. What's going on, Scotty? Anything?
I haven't really heard.
Charlie, have you heard?
there's an issue with the contract. So it had to be reissued.
Okay,
For the request for bids, there was like some paperwork or something that was missed. And so, everyone was basically disqualified, so they had to reissue.
I think it was between like Sam and.
It ended up,
It was some,
people were missing,
both
people,
on island people.
yeah, it was
Okay.
Sam and that was it, as far as I know.
yeah, but they were missing, I can't remember, there was some document that ended up. Legally, we have to disqualify them and they have to reissue,
Yeah.
and they told them what document was missing, but they have to go through the whole.
Because we
Po-
can't
posting
replace those
process.
locations until those stumps are gone, so.
Yeah.
Back here. You got nothing?
I got some.
Okay, that's,
All right,
on to new
so-
business.
That list that Dale gave us of the trees that we planted in 1996.
Mhm.
I took that list and I started going to see if they're still there,
Yeah,
and I was a little shocked at how many are not there.
Yeah.
And so the first thing I did was take pictures and build a spreadsheet. And I'm putting it on the web so that it's the easiest way to share a whole bunch of pictures.
Yep.
So I'll get sent out the website, so they're all identified with the location.
yeah.
Um,
That's on North Beach Street.
Yep,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know these trees by heart.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They're all my children.
Yeah. So I haven't done it for farm road yet, mostly just.
Yeah.
Additional knowledge.
Yeah. But what I,
Yeah,
so this is step one, is
yeah, great.
for those trees, which ones are still there?
Mhm.
I think step two is to send a letter to the owners of those properties saying, we just want to bring this back to your attention, because I looked at the records,
Mhm.
almost none of those properties are in the same hands as they
Right.
were in
No.
96.
None.
Yeah.
And of
So-
course, we lost two. I think there was two gone where the community sailing. Wasn't there two?
One, there was
One-
three there, one was taken down. for
One was
community
taken,
sale, yeah.
okay,
But we need to let people know that
sure,
these trees are
Yep.
special.
Yep.
So step two would be to, let people know. And then step three, I think, might be some kind of PR.
Yeah. sure,
To let people know that the town has planted elms for the future. And we did it in 1996, and they're starting to be shade trees, not
Oh.
just saplings, They're
it's,
really
it's,
starting to-
I was telling Dale when I talked to him on the phone, said, those trees by the tile room
Uh-huh.
have come into
Yeah.
their own
Yeah.
shape. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got a vase shape, they're they're incredible, we didn't, Dale and I didn't have any. It didn't look like it was gonna be a good long-term tree, because they were kind of upright and, they weren't doing much for a long time. Well, a long time is
Yeah, that's,
30 years.
that's Parks Avenue, that's
Yeah,
the trees on either
Yeah.
side.
Oh,
of
wow.
Highway.
I mean,
They're
this one right
really
here,
nice
I mean,
trees.
just,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's just,
something.
Yeah.
just amazing, amazing.
But I know that
So
trees downtown look pretty good. I mean, we had a wet winter in spring.
what is it?
And some of these have irrigation, you know, and exhibit A is the sea grill.
Yeah.
The difference between those two trees is dramatic.
Where, I know where one of them
Yeah, this
is
is
missing.
The Segro, the left, the one on the left does not have care, and the one on the right does.
Right, right. Irrigation was the big thing, but the one on the left is actually
It's not
fine.
bad, yeah, it's come-
It's come
yeah,
along.
Yeah, it's a slow.
Now tell me what's missing? What comes to mind that's missing?
Well, we apparently planted 6 on North Beach Street or 7. And there's only 2 left. There's the one at
Hmm.
51, which was all by itself. And then there was a string from 14 to 24, and there's only one left that I could tell was actually an elm. There are a couple other trees, but they don't look like elms. So my spreadsheet,
I can't remember planting any, other than that one that was way
well,
down.
that's what I wanted to ask. Were these potential
They
locations
might have been potential locations.
and not actual?
I don't
planted
think,
locations?
the only one I remember, that's why I remember that particular one. I don't remember the
Yeah.
rest of them.
Yeah.
I don't think we planted any for El Silva.
So I've been going through this list,
Yeah.
saying, yes, there's a tree there, no, there's not a
Yeah,
tree there.
yeah.
And then taking pictures, and it'll all be up on my website. So that we'll have a reference that we can share with
Yeah.
people, or,
Right.
yeah,
That's great.
Now, Hooper Farm Road. I think there's some missing there too,
I'm sure there are, because it's a long list of.
like where Tony Marx's house was.
There's 25 spots listed on Hooper Farm Road. I don't think we planted 25 trees.
Yeah. Some, might have died,
Yeah.
I mean, I can-
But I'll
yeah,
finish this. with you.
yeah. It's great.
But for me, because I was on tree committee, when
Yep.
when we
Yep.
did this whole
Yep.
thing.
Yep,
These trees are special. I mean, these
Sure.
are second only to the historical. in my
Yep.
mind.
I really like letting the owners know.
Yeah.
The current owners
Yes.
know that these trees are there.
Yeah.
well,
They're special.
they all have, they all have medallions on them, and I think
Well,
all those should.
I didn't see a lot of medallions.
You know,
Okay.
medallions get buried in the bark, cause I was walking on Milk Street, you know, the big elms. And I was looking for all the medallions, you can find them, but I have to I have to look for it, they're
Sure.
not obvious, so
Yeah.
if you're not looking, you're not gonna see
Yeah.
them. After so many years, they're kind of.
Some of the older ones are also
Right.
about the size of a silver dollar.
And they're kind of buried in the bark.
And they're on a really short
Yeah, it
nail.
grows around.
You know, the
Yeah,
ones-
the bark, I mean, they have that.
That's why the
Ropey
system they
bark.
use at Smith College is, it's off the tree quite a bit. I mean, the tree it would take a long time for
Yeah.
the tree to, and it gets close.
Yeah, we leave a room, plenty of room to.
Yeah,
But that's Charlie, as you're making these tags, I would ask Dale to tag these trees first,
Again,
to
yeah.
make sure that they
The
are.
first
identified.
100 are
Yeah.
sitting on a
Alright.
clipboard there that I'm gonna give to Scotty when he leaves today.
Where again?
But,
No.
oh, I have a list here, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll get that,
Okay.
I'll get the list from Mary, then I'll pass it on.
But
when we
you know,
guys-
Dale was around when all this was, he was working with Roger at that point.
That was way
Pretty
before
sure.
me.
Yeah.
so, and Dave, I have a question for you. So Nantucket Bank is on the list. And right
That's-
behind their sign is a really decrepit looking
Now,
tree.
Albert Glowacki planted those.
Okay,
Those are Buseman elms.
okay,
And that was that was probably the only elm you could get at the
Yeah.
time. Cause I know he did all the original landscaping there.
okay.
So, yeah,
So that's not one of our
No, it's not.
1996
It's
elms,
not.
but it is an elm.
it's an elm, but
Well,
but
good,
it's
I'm
not-
not,
it's not a
I'm not a complete loss.
Yep.
Trying to identify
Yep.
a tree. So is that a town tree?
I don't think so. You remember where
Right
it
right behind the Nantucket Bank sign at the entrance?
doesn't look like it's ever been worked.
No.
Yeah, it's got ivy on it.
No, that's-
Yeah, okay.
And there's another one on the other side too. Isn't there two? Isn't there one here and then there's one
Well, there's
coming
one
out?
in front of the bank, but that's definitely not an elm.
Right. We didn't plant an elm in front of the bank.
Yeah.
They didn't request an elm,
Yeah.
so,
They already have another tree.
but then. Dale cut down one at where Elizabeth O'Rourke's office is.
Yeah,
Up by the barber shop, because that was, it was just gonna, it was breaking up. So that one got cut down, we know that, but the one at Outdoor Power is just incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And across the street, those are, you know, doing very well.
No, it was really a lot of fun going out and
Yeah.
actually looking at the trees and going, wow, we did good. you
Yeah,
know?
yep,
Who owns the elm that's between Vestal Street and Main Street, and it's kind of in the middle, it's huge tree. It's kind of near the old jail, you know, which one I'm talking about, I think it's an elm.
yep.
Yeah, it's on
It's
the side of the
huge.
road. Yeah.
Well, it's not on the side of the road, it's in a
It's in a
yard.
yard.
It's
It's-
that
Oh.
huge
Oh
canopy.
my
yeah,
God, that is an
that
amazing,
is,
does it belong to the town?
no,
no,
Oh.
unfortunately, but the people that own the,
Go
own,
prove it and then you can.
the people that own that property, if they, and I think they still own it.
Oh
I
my
can't remember their names, but they love the tree.
Oh my God.
They have
Could
no
you-
intention of.
That is an amazing
I think
tree.
if they did sell a house, I think they'd probably require it to be, they might.
Maintain the tree.
even- They might even give it to the town.
Yeah, but it is. in the-
That is a
town.
beauty.
Oh my
It
gosh,
is.
I see it every day. I walk by there every day.
And one that I've never seen before, you know, you're on North Liberty Street coming towards the Silver Linden. There's a huge elm in the backyard of the house. It's like Darrymore Road's here and you're coming
Yeah.
down towards the corner and in the backyard. There's a
yeah,
huge
I know
elm.
what you're talking.
Yeah.
Some of those trees have
Yeah.
just gotten, I mean, they just are tucked into these
Yeah.
places and they just, yeah.
So if there's nothing else on that, the other item was the notes that I sent to Charlie. I'll just read through them and then Charlie, you can send them out again, but if there's any comments, I can add them in. So these are my thoughts on how we would structure select board tree removal permission when they overrule us. First, that the remediation funds must be received by the town before the tree can be cut down. Otherwise, we might have to sue to get paid.
Yep.
Second, that the permission to remove the tree is tied to the specific project that necessitates the removal. If the project is not initiated by the owner or petitioner, the tree can't be removed. If the remediation funds were already paid, they should be refunded.
Okay. Yep.
Third, the permission is not transferable to an amended project. And that's even with the same owner, because if they're changing the project, they can change it to keep the tree.
Sure,
you know?
yeah, right.
Um, and any sale or transfer revokes the permission to remove the tree on the grounds that the new owner should be made aware of by the seller of the tree status as a town tree and can plan accordingly. And then fifth, the tree can't be removed until the town arborist is able to document the size and species of the tree for the purposes of calculating the remediation amount. The owner should sign off on the town arborist measurement to prevent disputes, and the town arborist should expedite that appraisal, to not necessarily delay. to be honest. So those were my
Yeah.
thoughts, you know, but I like the idea of a form, that says, you know, fill in remediation amount, you know.
Mhm.
You know, let's have the guy sign it, so he's committed to it.
Yep.
And give the select board some structure, 'cause a lot of that discussion was, well, what can we do instead? Can we plant elms? Can we plant cherry trees? Can we plant them somewhere else? Can we plant them on the property? That shouldn't be part of the discussion. If you're removing a town tree, you should just pay for it.
Yep.
And then the tree advisory committee and the DPW can decide how to best use those funds.
Sure.
The select board should not be trading, you know, well, I give you 4 3-inch trees or 2 6-inch, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
they shouldn't be in that, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you get into, you know, it's like the Somerville thing, or it was like Rob McNeil's, you know, he paid so much for
Formula,
credits, and
yeah.
I mean, it was just, I like the remediation.
Mhm.
That's straightforward, goes into the town tree fund, and that's the other thing. It should be earmarked for the town tree fund.
Yeah,
So it
yeah, it's
doesn't go
not a
into,
fine that goes.
it
into
doesn't
the
go down a
general
dark
fund,
hole.
yeah.
Black,
I mean, it could also come into, we could have the finance department create a town tree account within the DPW, so instead of it getting deposited at, at surfing, that it goes into, an account here with an order an object, and then when, then it just gets paid, that way.
yeah,
That way we can
yeah,
see it here within our own accounting software.
right. I don't mind it going to surfing hydrangea or Arrowhead or whatever, anybody. The money's there for the DPW too, so.
And we may decide that, maybe there's a Dutch elm disease outbreak and we want to use the money to combat
Sure.
that rather than planting cherry trees.
Absolutely.
That's where I think if
The
it were in
tree
a
fund.
if it were in
Yes.
a DPW account, then we could use it for, for those things, if, as the committee sees fit.
In fact, the tree fund was established for just maintenance. For Dutch elm disease,
Way back.
way back. No, that's not wood, I can't knock on wood. We haven't had an incidence of Dutch elm disease in I don't know how long, I mean, we have been.
Yeah,
We've been lucky.
we check like every day during the summer.
Yeah.
Every morning circle.
Oh, I almost run into other people,
And are we doing, I think I saw one of the orange sticky things up on a phone call for monitoring the beetles. Are we still doing that?
Oh, the emerald?
Emerald ash board, is that's what I wanted to.
Yeah, we did that years ago, Wisconsin.
Right.
All those
Are those
patches
still
on the
there?
street. No,
No, okay.
long gone, yeah, that was a while ago.
I think, it was localized right there.
Yeah.
And as much as I've told Skip about it too, I love his wood, but it was, I bought a almost a quart of wood from him at the end of the winter, and there was a lot of ash in and I called him. He knew he had ash, but he didn't know where it came from. And the law in Massachusetts is you can't use wood from ash wood that's in the red zone, I think. I'm not sure how, you'd have to look up the statute on that, but that wood needs to be either mulched, turned into, chips,
Get rid of it.
buried or buried.
Well, that's
So-
something else that we could put into a public outreach.
Right,
Thing
right.
is, there are legal restrictions
Yeah.
on how you can work on trees. And that's not just town trees,
Right.
that's all trees.
Now, can some of this stuff be fumigated or sprayed before it comes over?
That's impossible, I mean, I used to have to inspect. Back when we had, the first outbreak of Dutch elm disease, it wasn't the first outbreak, but the modern outbreak of it. I'd have to inspect loads of firewood.
Yeah.
I get up on the truck and he said, what am I,
Yeah.
how am I supposed
look
to
at
figure
everything,
this one
yeah.
out? Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, that's. So, anything else?
I'm not familiar with the history of the tree that was in front of, Or the Whale. I think was it a Zolkova? So that was removed, I guess, was it last year? The old even keel up on the left side of Main Street as you go up.
That wasn't a Zolkova though, was it? Was it?
I'm not sure.
Oh, that one,
Don't quote me on it.
that was,
Abuse Manila, I thought.
yeah, it was, cause we planted, 2 of them there on Main Street. And that one just died out, like,
Yeah.
completely.
Because the other one
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah, the other one, thank God, is good, but yeah, that, we don't know what happened, it just,
Yeah.
we watered it and everything. And
Yeah.
It
I
just,
think it just declined.
Yeah.
It wasn't Dutch elm disease or anything.
no,
I mean, is that a potential new location going forward or?
it's on the list, yeah,
Okay,
definitely on the list.
yeah, because there's obviously, oh, look at you there.
Is this one? Cause that one doesn't have any leaves in this photo, the other.
Yeah,
I wonder if that.
I think you're right, you know, but that it was a. No, that was an elf, that was a, I think that was a, so that's a Zoccola right there. That was a, what, it was one of those new, hybrid elms.
Liberty?
Liberty elm, or, not Liberty, but a Valley Forge, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think that's what that was.
Cause it struggled, as I remember, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
And I had heard that,
Yeah.
it was removed.
I meant to tell Nancy, there's a
Great.
silver linden in front of Erica Wilson's shop
Picture there.
down the street. That we planted.
Emily Molden has joined us.
Okay, hi Emily.
Hi, everyone. Sorry to hop on so late, but
You'll get the minutes, but we're pretty close to being done, but we're gonna welcome you to the tree committee.
yes, thank you. I think it might be more officially so at your next meeting, but
Yeah, right,
I'm standing by. Thank you. I'm excited to join.
Make sure you get sworn in.
Happy to have you, Emily.
I got sworn in this morning.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, Emily, you got anything to add to, we've kind of gone through the agenda. I take it you accessed the agenda for today.
I did, yes. I mean, I suppose I can wait and take a look at the minutes and
Yep.
just ask any questions so that you guys don't have to talk about things you've already talked about, but
Right.
thank you.
Yeah. So,
And is there anything you wanted to bring up as a topic for future consideration?
Well, I certainly will be interested to talk more about the mapping project as well, and any ways that I can be of assistance and support to that, and learn a little bit more about I sort of know on the side that the town has applied for some funding to support a future planting program for the town, but I don't know a lot of the details of it yet, so maybe I can just get caught up on that in the future. But I don't have
Vince
anything.
gave us- Sorry, Emily, Vince gave us a presentation a couple months ago, so you can watch that recording.
Okay, that's great. I'll look for that one.
yeah, he's applying for a grant for specifically to get this GIS mapping done by probably an outside company that specializes in doing it. I think that's probably the way to go. So
Great.
just waiting to hear, yes or no.
Yeah, I believe that was the April meeting, if you were to look it up on.
Oh, good.
You
That's
can YouTube.
helpful.
Yeah.
I'll pull that up and watch that presentation so that I know more about what's going on with it.
So, and we had a citizen request about removing the silver linden, and I think that came to a good conclusion. Nancy Martin is not gonna push it, the tree's gonna stay with some help from the DPW, so,
Oh, great. Was that the one on West Maya Comet?
no, it's on
Westchester.
Westchester.
Oh, on Westchester. Sorry, I read that wrong. Westchester, right, of course. I don't think there would be a silver linden out in West Maya Comet, Westchester.
Yeah,
Great. That's good to hear.
all right, well, unless we've got anything else, I think we're probably good.
The tree tours are well attended.
Yes, unfortunately, we had to cancel one last week because our staff got pretty sick, but we have, I think, 2 or 3 more with a bunch of people already signed up, so.
Yeah, and that brochure is great. I don't know if you still have the same brochure. I had some friends over the years that couldn't make the actual tour, and they did the self-guided tour that they really enjoyed.
We do have the same one. I actually think that it's probably time to make some updates on it. And we actually have also talked about working with the Sconset Trust to create a separate one for Sconset. I know Dale and I, a few years back, worked on creating a little tour, and we did some tours through the Sconset Trust out there. So we've actually thought about creating a separate little brochure for Sconset trees.
That'd be great.
Something I'm gonna say, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, all right, so I guess we're good. We have a motion to adjourn.
So,
All in favor, second?
second,
All in favor, we'll see you next month.
Hopefully I'll be there in person next time.
Good. Thanks, Emily. Thanks, Ben.
They need a bigger table.